So with respect to baggage, so there is some changes which is given as a correndum in the ICI by study material. They have not given initially. So based on study material only I made, because this was not a point which was given in amendments as well as in the study material, and at a later point of time, so ICI has made a correction related to the rate that is applicable to the baggage, and even with respect to that import of firearms, cartridges of firearms, etc. also there are some changes. So that's why we are discussing the baggage provisions fully in detail. So look into first one. Baggage refers to passenger luggage. Goods can be imported by different modes. Baggage is also one of the mode through which the goods can be imported, and there are certain exemptions and allowances with respect to baggage. Basically, baggage, any article which is brought through baggage will be dutiable. However, we have one exemption with respect to used personal effects. If any used personal effects is brought, it is exempted, and also laptop brought by a person over 18 years and above, one laptop is brought by a passenger is also exempted. These two are exempted, and the others are dutiable. In the dutiable, we have certain allowances. In that, the first allowance is general free allowance. When a passenger is returning from other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, so then the general free allowance will be up to 50,000 if they are not a tourist of foreign origin. If they are a tourist of foreign origin, then the general free allowance will be up to 15,000 if they are coming from other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. Suppose if they are coming from Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, land route, the general free allowance will be nil, and if it is other cases, the general free allowance will be up to 15,000. But this general free allowance is not applicable in case of Annexure 1 articles. And infant, so aged more than 2 years, they can come from any country, but when they are visiting or when they are traveling, so then the general free allowance is not there, but only used personal effects will be exempted. And GFA, in addition to used personal effects and travel souvenirs, so travel souvenirs is also allowed, but travel souvenir should not be in commercial quantity. As a memory of visit of that particular country, we may bring something as a travel souvenir, but that should not be in commercial quantity. That is also exempted. And Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, if they are coming by land route, it is nil. Other case up to 15,000. And if they are coming from other countries, then tourist of foreign origin up to 15,000, and other case up to 50,000. Next, used personal effects and travel souvenirs irrespective of value is freely allowed, that is exempted. And what is the meaning of personal effects? Which are required for satisfying daily necessities. So only necessities will come under used personal effects. So therefore, other items will not be coming under personal effects, but does not include jewelry. That's very, very important point. Jewelry will not be taken as personal effects. The free allowance of one passenger cannot be clubbed with the free allowance of another passenger. So suppose if husband and wife visits foreign country, and if they are buying one laptop for their son, they are anyhow bringing one laptop for them, but one laptop they are buying for their son, 90,000 rupees, they cannot club. Individually, even though 50,000 is available, but they cannot club in this case, which means only one person can keep it in their baggage. So 50,000 will be allowed, and remaining 40,000 will be dutiable. That is this. And the free allowance is not applicable to Annexure 1 articles, and even for household articles, we should not claim general free allowance, because for household articles which are used by him in his house, for that we have, for example, cup, saucer, kettle, iron box, etc. We have a separate rule, so that is not available here. And however, it can be claimed under Rule 6. And what are the articles for which, Annexure 1 articles for which general free allowance is not available? Firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. Up to 50 can be claimed, yes. Then next, cigarettes exceeding 100, cigars exceeding 25, and tobacco exceeding 125 grams. Up to these limits, it is allowed, but beyond that, it is not allowed. And next we have alcoholic liquor in excess of 2 liters. Up to 2 liters, we can claim general free allowance. Then LED, LCD, and plasma TV are gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. For ornaments, we can claim general free allowance. So these are the Annexure 1 articles on which general free allowance is not available. So which means this will be dutiable. Next, what is the rate at which we need to pay? So related to that, so they have given one correndum. So this is the correndum given by ICI. In this you can see for baggage falling under heading 9803, for baggage falling under heading 9803, social welfare surcharge is fully exempted, which means what is the rate at which we need to pay baggage duty? At present, that is entire baggage, they have exempted the social welfare surcharge. So therefore, the baggage rate will be 35%. Okay, previously 35% plus 10%, that is 38.5% we used to take. But now, please kindly remember, it is 35% only will be taken because social welfare surcharge is exempt, which is in excess of duty free allowance, and effectively becomes 35% instead of 38.5%. So 35% should be taken. Also, in case of 3 articles, that is firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50, cigarettes exceeding 100, cigars exceeding 25, tobacco exceeding 125 grams. Previously, there used to be 100% plus social welfare surcharge 10%, that is 110%, but now it should be taken as only 70%. So that 110% is not applicable. So we have only 2 rates, 35% and 70%. That is the only rates that will be applicable. So that is with respect to the correndum, and accordingly you need to keep that in mind. So what is the rate of duty on baggage? So you can see this page 277 here. The social welfare surcharge is not applicable. So it is not applicable. So therefore the effective rate is only 35%. 35% only should be taken. And then here also not eligible for GFA, 38.5 will not be taken, and 35% will be taken. And here we don't have 110%, just 70% will be taken, but remaining things and all are same. Okay, so this is the change that you need to remember. Basic, that is customs duty, 35% we don't have social welfare surcharge, IGST, etc. and all, only 35% is relevant. And in case of firearms, we need to take 70, cartridges of firearms beyond 50, we need to take 70%, and cigarettes beyond 100 sticks, we need to take 70%, cigars beyond 25, we need to take 70%, tobacco beyond 125 grams, we need to take this 70%. Only for these goods for which 70% will be applicable, and for other goods 70% is not applicable. In all other cases, the rate will be 35% only. Okay, and whenever you get a question, you need to prepare a table like this. What is the product? Eligible for GFA, not eligible for GFA. Eligible for GFA, we know what are eligible. Not eligible for GFA, again 2 rates we have, 35% and 70%. If it is firearm, not eligible for GFA and 70% should be taken. If it is cartridges of firearm up to 50, eligible for GFA 35%, beyond 50 not eligible for GFA 70%. Cigarettes up to 100, eligible for GFA 35%, and beyond 100 not eligible for GFA 70%. Cigars up to 25, eligible for GFA, so then 35%, and beyond 25 not eligible for GFA 70%. Tobacco up to 125 grams, eligible for GFA 35%, beyond 125 grams not eligible for GFA 70%. Gold or silver other than ornaments not eligible for GFA but 35% only. Alcohol, then ornaments eligible for GFA 35%, alcohol up to 2 liters eligible for GFA 35, beyond 2 liters not eligible for GFA but it is 35% only. LED, LCD, plasma TV not eligible for GFA and it will be coming under 35%, and all other goods eligible for GFA 35%. When it is eligible for GFA, why are we paying tax? Because first we need to take the list and thereafter we need to reduce general free allowance. On the remaining amount we need to pay 35%. That is the meaning of that. Whereas in the other 2 columns, no reduction. Whatever is the value, on that we need to pay 35% and 70% respectively. So these are the changes that we have with respect to this, and accordingly, so in study material also they have updated. So this is the extract from the study material, section 78 of the Customs Act, rate of duty. So thus the effective rate of duty on baggage is 35%, and next for firearms and cartridges of firearms exceeding 50 and etc. So 70% is applicable, but this heading shall not apply to motor vehicles, alcoholic beverages, tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes, for which it will be like 35%. So a conjoint reading of baggage rules and its exception provides that alcoholic liquor or wines up to 2 liters, cigarettes up to 100 sticks, cigars up to 25, tobacco up to 125 shall be included while computing duty-free allowance, and these products over and above shall be subject to the rates prescribed under the respective headings. Okay, that is 70% will be applicable, and that is with respect to this particular area. Next, jewelry allowance. Jewelry allowance under Rule 5. Rule 3 and Rule 4 is general allowance. Rule 5 is jewelry allowance. In case of jewelry allowance, if there is a passenger, again, whether this Indian passenger is given in the study material, no, it is not in ICI study material. This is not in ICI study material, but this particular point is given in the traveler's guide published by Government of India, that they are giving it only for Indian passenger. But for your CA final exam, you need to take passenger. Okay, they have not given Indian passenger. Passenger who have been residing abroad for more than 1 year, greater than 1 year, male passenger 20 grams, subject to a value cap of 50,000, female passenger 40 grams with a value cap of 1 lakh. That should be taken. And next, Rule 6, that is a passenger who is transferring their residence depending upon the period for which they stayed abroad. So it should be taken. And household articles are allowed here if they stay for 3 to 6 months. Remember, 3 to 6, 6 for 60,000. Then 6 months to 1 year, 1 lakh. So 6 months, 60,000. 1 year, 1 lakh. Minimum 1 year during the preceding 2 years. 2 years, so we need to take it as 2 lakhs. But they should not avail this concession in the preceding 3 years. And suppose if it is 2 years or more, then it should be 5 lakhs. Up to a value of 5 lakhs. Shortfall up to 2 months can be condoned by ACDC. Also, total stay in India during the short visit up to 6 months, which may be condoned by Commissioner. The concession should not have been claimed by the passenger in the preceding 3 years. So this is with respect to this. And next, ineligible articles. Already we have seen what are the ineligible articles in Annexure 1. So those articles are ineligible even for this particular purpose also. And Annexure 2 articles are ineligible even for this particular purpose. What are those Annexure 2 articles? Color TV, video home theater system, dishwasher, refrigerator above 300 liters, but up to 300 liters they can, deep freezer, video camera, and cinematograph film of 35 mm and above. Then other points, all the above provisions are equally applicable to unaccompanied baggage. What is unaccompanied baggage? That arrives within 1 month after passenger's arrival or 2 months before passenger's arrival. And member of crew in service can bring petty gifts up to 1,500 rupees during their service. But after their service, when they are finally, after their contract gets over, at that time they will be treated like a regular passenger and the regular allowances will be available to them. And passenger carrying non-dutiable and non-prohibited articles shall walk through green channel. And if they are bringing any dutiable articles and prohibited articles, they will walk through red channel. Passenger has to make true and full declaration regarding the contents of the baggage. If they have not made true and full declaration, then in that case, they will not be getting the benefit of temporary detention of baggage. There is a concept of temporary detention of baggage, where the baggage of a passenger contains any article which is dutiable or the import of which is prohibited. Okay, dutiable articles or prohibited articles, and in respect of which true declaration has been made, the proper officer may, at the request of the passenger, detain such goods. So detain such goods for the purpose of being returned to him on his leaving India. And suppose if he has not made true declaration, it cannot be detained, means it is brought. Should we pay baggage duty? Yes. And because of which even there will be penalty and penal provisions also that will be applicable. Okay. So passenger is not able, suppose if the passenger goods, he has made a true declaration and it is detained. So when he can, whether he can collect at the time when he is leaving India, yes, he can collect at the time when he is leaving India, or he can authorize any other person to collect it on his behalf, or he can ask the officer to courier it in his name. And dutiable goods which are brought into India, taken to abroad, and on returning baggage shall be applicable. Dutiable goods brought in India and taken to abroad, and on returning baggage provision shall be applicable if true and full declaration is not made while going abroad. That is, while going abroad, if you have taken some dutiable articles, if you have not made any true and full declaration, again when you are bringing those articles, you have to pay the baggage duty. For example, we are wearing some jewelry and going, and at that time we have not given any declaration, and the same jewelry when we are bringing, we have to pay baggage duty as if the jewelry is imported into India. That is that point. And customs duty rate on baggage already we discussed. So this is about baggage provisions. And so one particular question of study material they have solved. Okay, so this is related to question number: firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50 and cigarettes exceeding 100 are not chargeable to rate of duty applicable to baggage. That does not mean it is exempted. Means up to 100, up to 25, up to 125, 35% is only applicable. Firearms and cartridges of firearms exceeding 50 are chargeable at 70, while cigarettes exceeding 100 are chargeable to duty. So that is firearms and cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. Firearms and cartridges of firearms exceeding 50 are chargeable so to duty at 70%, while cigarettes exceeding 100 are chargeable to duty at the rate applicable to cigarettes. What is the rate applicable to cigarettes? Okay, so that rates applicable to cigarettes, if you see this heading 9803, whatever heading 9803 of the Customs Act is only for firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50, okay, are not chargeable to above concessional rate of 35%, and this will be 70%, which means heading 9803 shall not apply to motor vehicles, alcoholic beverages, tobacco and tobacco, which means, so what will be the rate? Over and above will also be at the rate prescribed under the respective headings. Not necessary that we need to take 70%. Okay, then in exam what we need to write? Say this. So in exam, for this cigarettes beyond 100 sticks, previously we used to take 110%. But for this cigarettes beyond 100, cigars beyond 25, tobacco beyond 125 grams, for these three, okay, so rate given in the notification, rate as per tariff, rate as per tariff. So in exam, you check whether there is any rate which is given as per the tariff. In exam, if they have not given any rate as per the tariff, then leave it. Don't do the computation. So whenever you classify it under this 70%, that is 75, that whatever 70%, when you are classifying this, okay, whenever you are classifying this under that 70%, so don't do the computation, just show it like a note like this, okay. So you need to show it like a note, so you don't have to do any computation, not required. Computation is not required. But suppose if they have given exactly the rates and if they are asking you to do the computation, then do the computation, but that will be separate, which is not part of the answer, okay. The answer will be only based on this. So therefore for 100 sticks beyond 25 numbers, tobacco beyond 125 grams, rate as per tariff. So for this we need to check the question. We need to check the question related to this, but don't do any computation like taking 70%, which means 70% is literally applicable only for firearms and cartridges of firearms beyond 50. For that only 70% will be applicable. This is for your information, okay. Keep this in mind. Now related to this, let's do some questions. So all the baggage questions I wanted to cover, because these rates wherever it is there, I just wanted to make the correction. And segment 28, baggage. Mr. Anil and his wife, non-tourist Indian passengers, are returning from Dubai. So they are not tourists of foreign origin and returning from Dubai to India after staying there for a period of 2 years. They wish to bring gold jewelry purchased from Dubai. So more than 2 years they are staying, for a period of 2 years means more than 1 year, and gold jewelry from Dubai. So enumerate the provisions of customs law and jewelry allowance. So 20 grams subject to a value cap of 50,000 for male passenger, and 40 grams subject to a value cap of 1 lakh for female passenger, that will be taken, and that is the duty free allowance we need to write. It's a direct question. Question number 2, Mr. Gopal, an Indian entrepreneur, went to London to explore new business opportunities on 1/4/2020. His wife also joined him in London on 1/12/2020. The following details were submitted by them with the customs authorities on their return to India on 30/4/2021. Used personal effects worth 95,000, a music system worth 44,000, jewelry brought by Gopal 44,000 and his wife 75,000. First, used personal effect will be exempted. And what is the period for which he stayed abroad? So he stayed abroad 1/4/2020 and he returned on 30/4/2021, more than 1 year, music system eligible for GFA, and jewelry brought by Gopal eligible for both jewelry allowance and GFA. Both jewelry allowance and GFA, whereas jewelry brought by his wife worth 75,000 not eligible for jewelry allowance because his wife joined him on 1/12/2020 to 34, less than a year. So no jewelry allowance, only general fee allowance. Only general fee allowance. For jewelry, can we take general fee allowance? Yes. Only gold or silver in any form other than ornaments only not possible. Now, in this case, when it comes to this person, so what is the music system, like what is a general fee allowance? He is not a tourist of foreign origin, so up to 50,000. So first take the dutiable articles, 44,000 plus 44,000. 44,000 plus 44,000, and fully he can claim because he is a male passenger. First 44,000 he can claim under general fee allowance, remaining 44,000 he can claim under jewelry allowance because up to 50,000 they have not given the weight, so 50,000 value cap will be taken. So completely he is nil. Whereas his wife 75,000, only general fee allowance is possible. So 75,000 minus 50,000, that will be 25,000 will be the dutiable value on which customs duty will be payable. Okay, examine their eligibility with regard to duty free allowance. There is no computation here related to that. So customs duty will be payable on 25,000. That's the answer for second question. Then third question, Amarnath, an IT professional and a person of Indian origin, is residing in Denmark for last 14 months. He wishes to bring a used microwave oven costing approximately 1,24,200 and weighing 15 kg with him during his visit to India. He purchased the oven in Denmark 6 months back and he has been using that oven for his personal use in his kitchen. He is not aware of Indian customs rules. Could you please provide him some advice in this regard? So he will be coming under transfer of residence. So under transfer of residence, what is the stay? So he stay for 14 months. 14 months means more than 1 year in the preceding 2 years. So 2 lakhs he can bring. And is microwave oven anywhere in Annexure 1? No. Is it in Annexure 2? No, it is not in Annexure 2 because in Annexure 2 we have color TV, video home theater, dishwasher, refrigerator above 300, deep freezer, video camera, cinematograph film of 35 mm and above. So this is not there, which means he can bring that without payment of any duty. So household articles worth 1,24,200, which is free of duty. Next. Question number 4. After visiting USA, Mrs. and Mr. X brought into India a laptop computer valued at 80,000, personal effects, clothes valued at 90, and a personal computer for 52,000. See, one laptop is exempted and personal effects is also exempted, but the personal computer is not exempted. That personal computer 52,000 will be dutiable and they can claim, any one person can claim the allowance. So 52,000 minus 50,000, 52 minus 50, so 2,000 rupees into 35%. So it is not 38.5%, 35% will be taken. So the answer will change. That is 2,000 into 35%, 700 rupees will be taken. Okay. Next. In the question number 3, it is not clear that it is a residential change. See, whenever they are transferring their residence, okay, so whenever they are transferring residence or any person who is visiting to India after a minimum stay of that period, they are allowed to bring household articles. Means not only to a person who is transferring their residence, even for the professionals who is returning to India also, this rule 6 will be applicable. So they use the word professional. So means rule 6 is not only for the people who transfer their residence, but also for the professionals who is returning to India, but only condition is that they should have stayed abroad for that particular time. Here as they use the word professional, that's why we are applying. So even software professionals or any other professionals who go there and stay for some time and when they are returning, they are eligible for this rule 6, household goods they can bring. Next. Look into question number 5. Mr. Devendra, an Indian entrepreneur, went to China to explore new business opportunities on 5/4. The following details regarding imports are submitted by him with the customs authorities on return to India on 22/2021. 2 music systems each worth rupees 23,000, means total 46,000. Jewelry brought by Devendra. So when is he, what is the period for which he is staying? He went on 5/4 and is returning on 22/2021. So his stay is not more than 1 year. He is not eligible for jewelry allowance, but general fare allowance he can claim. 49,000 will be dutiable. This is also dutiable. This is also dutiable. Write a brief note on eligibility. So music systems 46,000, 49,000, total 95,000. He is not a tourist of foreign origin and is not coming from Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. So 50,000 general fare allowance. So the dutiable value will be 45,000. 45,000 into 35%. Okay. So duty payable will be 45,000 into 35%, 15,750 will be taken. Okay. And his stay abroad not exceed 1 year, he will not be eligible for additional jewelry allowance. However, GFA can be claimed with respect to this. Then, so 35%, 15,750. Next, question number 6. Mr. Ram, an Indian resident and engineer by profession, who was engaged in his profession in USA for 9 months, brought with him on 10/4/2020 the following used items on his return to India. Used personal effects like clothes etc. of rupees 1 lakh, digital video disc player. So used personal effects will be exempted. Digital video disc player, basically professional who was engaged in profession for 9 months. So remember, rule 6 is possible. Okay. And digital video displayer is dutiable. Music system dutiable, air conditioner dutiable, microwave oven dutiable, fax also dutiable, domestic refrigerator also dutiable, and jewelry. So he stayed for 9 months, so no jewelry allowance. First, all are dutiable except that. After knowing that what are dutiable, then we will analyze what are the allowances that is available. So whether general free allowance is available, yes. So that is available up to 50,000 because he is coming from, so other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. Next, and so therefore tourist is not a tourist of foreign origin, so general free allowance will be available. Then what about jewelry allowance? Jewelry allowance is not available. And what about allowance for transfer of residence or a professional returning to India? So that will also be available. So 9 months. 9 months means up to 1 year. So how much they can bring? Up to 1 lakh. Up to 1 lakh. Up to 1 lakh they can bring general free allowance up to 50,000. This is the allowance. But this transfer of residence or professional returning from abroad, so few articles it is not possible. Is there any annexure 1 articles here? No, we don't have annexure 1 articles. Annexure 2 articles. Annexure 2 articles, if you see, what are they? Color TV. We don't have color TV in this place. Then video home theater system. So that is also not there. Music system is different from video home theater system. Dishwasher. So do we have dishwasher here? So dishwasher is not there. And next, refrigerator above 300 liters is not there, up to 300 liters only. And next, deep freezer, video camera. Deep freezer, no, we don't have deep freezer. Video camera also we don't have. Cinematograph film of 35 mm and above, that is also not there. So due to that reason, everything we will take into dutiable. So that is 5,000 plus 55,000 plus 45,000 plus 28,000 plus 52,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 75,000. Everything will be taken and we will do the total. And what is the allowance? Up to 50 general allowance, up to 1 lakh. Transfer of residence 1,50,000. So remaining 2,30,000 into 35%. This inclusive social welfare surcharge is not there because that is exempted. Okay. So we need to take 2,30,000 into 35%, that is 80,500 will be taken. 2,30,000 into 35%, 80,500. Next, question number 7. Mr. Samuel, a US resident aged 35 years, has come to India on a tourist visa for a month-long vacation. He carries with him as a part of baggage the following: travel souvenirs 85,000, other articles carried on in person 1,40,000. Travel souvenirs will be exempted. This 1,50,000 is dutiable. 80 sticks of cigarettes of 100 each. 80 sticks dutiable and it is eligible for GFA. Even this is also eligible for GFA. 30 cartridges of firearms valuing 500 dutiable, eligible for GFA. Then 1 liter wine, so 15,000. So 15,000, that will be dutiable and it is eligible for GFA. With reference to the baggage rules, determine whether Samuel will be required to pay any customs duty. First, here everything is within that limits, no issue. So we will take, and for cartridges of firearms, cigarettes okay, at the rate applicable to cigarettes. So that is cigarettes, whether it is, see here, see the rates here, cigarettes up to 100 can be accommodated in general free allowance and the duty will be 35% only, up to 100. Beyond 100 only, we will be charging the duty at the rate applicable on the cigarettes. Same way, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50 only, we will be paying the duty applicable to 70%. Firearms and cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. Then up to 50, the rate of 35% is applicable. Yes, the concessional rate will be applicable. So accordingly here, what we need to do, 85,000 is exempted. Other articles dutiable 1,50,000, 80 cigarettes, you take 8,000. And next we have 30 cartridges, 15,000 we will take. 1 liter of wine also will take. So total 1,88,000. And for everything general free allowance is available. So we will deduct general free allowance. But who is he? Samuel, a US resident, tourist of foreign origin. So up to 15,000. So 1,88,000 minus 15, 1,73,000. On that 35%. Everything is within the limit. So 35% only the rate that will be applicable. So 1,73,000 into 35%, 60,550. 60,550 will be taken as the customs duty payable. Okay. And applicable GFA for tourists of foreign origin will be 15,000. Hope you understood this with respect to this change. Next, question number 8. Mrs. X, an Indian resident who was on a visit to China, returned after months. She was carrying with her the following items: personal effects 75,000, laptop, this is exempted, laptop, so definitely Mrs. X is given, Mrs. X means more than 18 years, so laptop also will be exempted, jewelry 25 grams, so after months only, so dutiable, but she can claim general free allowance, music system dutiable, she can claim general free allowance, so 75,000 and 50,000, so total 1,25,000. General free allowance, Indian resident, China, so 50,000, 75,000, and the rate of duty will be 35%. So there is no social welfare surcharge. So accordingly, 75,000 into 35%, 26,250. Next, question number 9. Gregory Pegg of foreign origin has come on travel visa to tour in India, tourist of foreign origin. He carries with him as a part of baggage travel souvenir. Travel souvenir will be exempted. Other articles carried on in person, 1,50,000 dutiable. 120 sticks of cigarettes. Now remember, 100 sticks, 120 sticks of cigarettes, 100 sticks only we will be accommodating in general free allowance. 100 will be dutiable, eligible for GFA, and remaining stakes will not be eligible for GFA, but we need to pay the rate applicable to cigarettes. Okay. Then firearms with 100 cartridges, value includes the value of cartridges at 500 rupees per cartridge, 1 lakh. Okay. Now in this case, so 100 cartridges into 500, 100 into 500 means 50,000. So therefore out of this 1 lakh, cartridges will be 50,000 and firearm will be 50,000. Firearm 50,000, we need to pay 70%. Cartridges beyond 50, we need to pay 75%, but up to 50 cartridges, we will pay 35%. Okay. But we are not eligible for GFA. So this is not eligible. Only up to 50 is eligible for GFA. Keep that in mind. Determine the customs duty payable if the effective rate of baggage duty is 35%. Inclusive of social welfare surcharge is not there, with short explanation where required. Now, we are writing everything. Travel souvenir exempted, Articles carried on in person 1,50,000. Now keep in mind 100 sticks only should be taken. So 100 into 100, 100 into 100, that is 10,000. Then firearms don't take now. Firearms don't take now because that firearms will be dutiable separately. Okay. So how to prepare the answer for this? So the same question, how to prepare the answer? So you just follow this way. We take a different column. We take a different column. This will be eligible for GFA. This will be eligible for GFA, and here not eligible for GFA, not eligible for GFA, like that we will take extra column. In that firearms we will keep it here. Firearms we will keep it here 50,000. How you know firearms is 50,000? 50,000 you know because simple calculation, 100 into 500, 50,000. So out of 1 lakh, if 50,000 is gone, firearm will be 50,000 plus cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. So 50 into 500, only 50 allowed. 50 into 500, 25,000. 25,000 means the remaining 25,000, that is up to 50 cartridges. Up to 50 cartridges will be eligible for GFA. That only we are keeping it under 25,000. Now not eligible for GFA will be 50 plus 25. Then next, anything else over. So cigarettes also 120, the remaining 20 not eligible for GFA. What is that remaining 20? So 20 into 100, that will be 2,000. This 2,000 is not eligible for GFA, correct? Next. So what are all eligible for GFA? 1,50,000 plus 10,000 plus 25,000, 1,85,000. He is a tourist of foreign origin. So 15,000 we need to reduce. 1,70,000, 1,70,000 into 35%. 35%. So that will come to 59,500. 59,500. Now concentrate on this 2,000 firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. So, and cigarettes exceeding 100 are not eligible to applicable rate of duty on baggage. Correct. So these items are charged at 70%. That is, this 75 plus 2,000 is there na, that will be taxable at 70%. You write it like a note separately at 70%. At 70%. That is 75,000. Only 75,000 pa. Only 75,000. Firearms and cartridges in excess of 50. Cigarettes you remove. Customs duty payable on firearms and cartridges in excess of 50. 75,000 into 70%. 75,000 into 70%. 50,500. 50,500. Then cigarettes will not be taxable. Okay. So these items are charged at 70% to baggage. Therefore, customs duty payable in excess of cartridges, firearms and cartridges in excess of 50. 75,000 into 70. Cigarettes are dutiable at the respective rate as per Customs Tariff Act. Customs Tariff Act 1975. This is the change. This is the change that you need to remember. Okay. So don't worry, I'll give you the updated one after making the corrections. Okay. All these corrections, whatever I am incorporating for you to incorporate in the book, separately also I will share with you after making the corrections. So, but this is the way in which we need to arrive at the answer. Next, question number 10. What if the question with respect to laptop, nothing is given? So, in the previous question, laptop, nothing is given, like age less than or 18 or more than 18, should I need to take exempted? Mrs. is given. So, in India, the legal age for marriage is more than 18. So, more than 18 only is the legal age. So, Mrs. X is given, that's why we are taking greater than 18. So somewhere like this clue will be given. If nothing is given, you take the assumption more than 18 years and you write the exemption. Okay. Next. Question number 10. After visiting USA for a month, Mrs. and Mr. Iyer, Indian residents, aged 35 years and 40 years respectively, brought to India a laptop computer valued at 70,000, used personal effects valued at 1,50,000 and personal computer for 58,000. Calculate the customs duty payable by Mrs. and Mr. Iyer if any. So we have used personal effects exempted 1,40,000, laptop 70,000 exempted, but the personal computer dutiable already we discussed. So that 58,000 minus only one allowance 50,000. So that will be 8,000. 8,000. On that 8,000, baggage duty will be 35%. This including social welfare surcharge is not there. So 8,000 into 35%, 2,800. Next, question number 11. After staying abroad for 16 months, means more than 1 year, Mr. Vasudev shifted his residence to India from Sydney to Kolkata, shifted his residence. At the time of landing in Kolkata, he brought the following items. Gold bars, 30 grams, valued at 90,000. Eligible for GFA, not eligible for GFA, not eligible for GFA. These rates and all not required, not eligible for GFA. Then alcoholic liquor 4 liter. So 2 liters is only eligible for GFA, remaining 2 liters not eligible for GFA. Cigarettes, 20 boxes of cigarettes, each box containing 10, 20 into 10, 200. So only 100 is eligible for GFA, remaining is not eligible for GFA. One notebook computer will be exempted because more than 18 years, that's what. So here Mr. Vasudev shifting his residence like that is given, nothing is given. So we are taking it as greater than or equals to 18 years and therefore it is exempted. But personal computer, PC for personal use, that is not exempted, it will be dutiable but eligible for GFA. Then one PC meant for personal use, then hand pistol not eligible for GFA. Now if you see the total 47,000 and general free allowance itself 50. Sir, for PC they can go for transfer of residence, yes, but that much of dutiable articles should be there. Why are we not applying rule 6 here? We are not applying rule 6 here because the general free allowance itself has taken care of the dutiable articles. 47,000 general free allowance. Okay. As there are no household articles involved, allowance with respect to transfer of residence is not available in their case. We have not applied because the dutiable articles we don't have. Everything got adjusted in general free allowance itself. So dutiable value 0, baggage at 35% will be nil. We don't have any baggage at 35% and baggage duty payable at 70%. So all this is not required. This discussion is not required. Okay, this discussion is not required. Now what is that we need to write for this? This last 2 lines not required. How we need to present? So here on with respect to firearm, what is a firearm? 83,000. With respect to firearm, baggage duty at 70%. With respect to firearm, baggage duty at 70%, that is 83,000 into 70% equals to 83,000 into 70%, 58,100. And with respect to cigarettes, okay, rate as per tariff, and all other goods, duty at 35%. So therefore even for alcohol, if you see this wording, for motor vehicle, alcoholic beverages, tobacco and manufactured tobacco, so this 70% is not applicable. And for cigarettes alone they said, so cigarettes beyond this, these products over and above alcoholic liquor or up to 2 liter, so beyond 2 liter, cigarettes, cigars, these products over and above will be subject to the rate as per the respective headings. Okay, so all other goods, cigarettes and tobacco, we have tobacco only, cigarettes and liquor. See, 83,000 we covered, but cigars, cigarettes, alcohol, liquor and gold bar with respect to other goods, we can just put it like this, with respect to other goods, respective rate as per tariff, that's it. What is that rate? We don't have, so you just write respective rate as per tariff. This is how you need to present. So rates you don't have to bother, only for firearm we need to take 70, and with respect to other goods, respective rate as per tariff. For this gold bar, at the rate applicable to the tariff, and alcoholic liquor also at the rate applicable to the tariff, cigarettes also at the rate applicable to the tariff. Then sir, here we should change this now sir, even for this not eligible for GFA, this beyond 2 liters etc. and all, should we take the rate as per tariff? Yes, rate as per tariff. Rate as per tariff should be taken, these two cases. Then here the 35% does not make sense. Yes, the 35% does not make any sense here, so we need to take the rate as per tariff. Only in this case, the first column alone 35%, all other cases, firearms, cartridges of firearms beyond 50-70%, all other cases rate as per tariff, and we need to check the question. For this. We need to go by the rate as per tariff for all other things. The standard rate, the 35% rate is not applicable. Then next, question number 12. Mr. X, an Indian resident, returns to India on 1/4/2021 after visiting France for 3 months. On his return to India, he brings with him the following articles: used personal effects like clothes etc. valued at 1,75,000 exempted, music system dutiable, jewelry valued at 1,30,000 measuring 20 grams, so that is dutiable, but he just stayed for 3 months, so he is not eligible for jewelry allowance. Laptop, so that is exempted. Wine 1 liter, eligible, dutiable. Mobile phone, sir, mobile phone won't we take it as personal effect? If it is personal effect, it should have been given separately. Given means it's a new mobile. Now we understood what are dutiable. Next we need to know allowances. What allowance is available? General free allowance is only available, no other allowance. So what are the dutiable articles? 1,20,000 plus 1,30,000 plus 6,000 plus 50,000, that will be 3,06,000, and 3,06,000 minus general free allowance 50,000, so 2,56,000. Baggage rate will be 35%. On alcohol, so 35% is not applicable. No. See, whatever is eligible for GFA, up to that limit is covered under baggage, for which the rate of concessional rate 35. Beyond that limit only, general free allowance not available, means it's not part of baggage duty, and that will be at the respective rates. Okay, so 35%, 2,56,000 into 35%, that is 89,600 will be taken. Next, Mr. Kapoor, a chartered accountant, an Indian resident, he brought the following items with him while returning to India from USA. Personal effect of 50,000. Personal effect of 50,000 will be exempted. Jewelry valued at 25,000, so that will be dutiable. And one camera dutiable. Professional equipment dutiable. Laptop will be exempted. Household goods will be dutiable. And we don't know for how much time he stayed abroad. As we don't know, so therefore GFA alone will be available in this case. So household effects and household articles, can we claim under GFA? Yes, we don't have any issue. We can definitely claim general free allowance. But the problem is that, see, whenever general free allowance is exhausted, so this point, see, GFA for household items are not available, means that it will not come under personal effects because we have a separate rule. But this line is nowhere given in the study material. This line is not given in the study material. And this question, if you see, so this is a past exam question, they applied even for household goods, general fuel allowance, okay. But this particular point is based on the, so this is for ICI. So for CA final exam, this point is not there. So which means that for general fuel allowance, we can claim even for household articles. So what is a dutiable? 30,000. So take this 25,000 plus 50,000 plus 40,000 plus 30,000, 1,45,000 minus general fuel allowance 50. So dutiable value 95 and the rate will be 35%. So therefore 35% of 95,000, that is 33,250. 33,250 can be taken, okay. Next, that is with respect to this. And even for household goods, remember general fuel allowance, but it will not come under used personal effects, not falling under used personal effects, not falls under used personal effects, used personal effects. Next, question number 14. Cliff Paul, a resident and citizen of USA, visits India on a business tour. He made declaration to the proper officer about his baggage under section 77 of Customs Act for the purpose of clearance. During the scrutiny of the declaration, proper officer found that some of the articles declared in the baggage brought with him were prohibited to be entered in India and were detained by the officer. Although Mr. Paul did not insist to clear those articles, value of these articles was very high and it was a difficult situation for him. You are required to advise any procedure prescribed under the customs law, okay. So were prohibited, okay, some of the articles were prohibited to be entered in India and were to be detained by the officer. So whether the officer can detain, yes. Where the baggage of a passenger contains any article which is dutiable or prohibited and he made a true declaration, proper officer can detain, okay. And Cliff Paul has imported prohibited, same were declared during disembarkation, the same can be temporarily detained. On his return, it may be taken by him or by any other passenger notified by him. So this is literally section 81. Based on that, they have given this question, okay. So question number 15. John Biden, aged 32, is a tourist of US origin. He has come to India on a travel visa, so tourist of foreign origin, and carries with him the following as a part of baggage: used personal effects exempted, travel souvenir exempted, laptop exempted, 200 grams of tobacco. So 200 grams, but how much is allowed? 125 grams of tobacco is allowed. So 125 into 5, that is 625 is eligible for GFA. 625 is eligible for GFA. Eligible for GFA and not eligible for GFA. So the remaining 625 minus 1000, so 375 is not eligible for GFA. Then next, so firearms, 50 cigars. So how many is eligible for GFA? 25 into 100, 2,500 eligible, remaining 2,500 not eligible. Firearms 80,000 not eligible for GFA. Firearms 80,000 not eligible for GFA. And cartridges beyond 50 also not eligible. Beyond 50, how many we have? 30 into 500, that is 15,000. 15,000 not eligible for GFA, but what is eligible? 50 into 500, that is 25,000 will be eligible for GFA. Then 1.5 liters of wine, alcohol 5,000 is eligible for GFA. Mobile phone, as it is not given in personal effects, it is given separately, means it's a new one, 80,000. So first we need to take what are all eligible for GFA, that is 625 plus 2,500 plus 25,000 plus 5,000 plus 80,000, 1,13,125 minus, he is a tourist of foreign origin. So 15,000, 98, 125. On that 98, 125, 35% should be taken and this will be removed. And 98, 125 into 35%. So 34,343.75 rounded off. 34,344. 344 rounded off. We have rounded it off. And firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50, cigars exceeding 25, tobacco exceeding 125 not chargeable to duty. And what is the rate applicable? So tobacco 375, cigars exceeding 25, and these two at the rate as per tariff. Rate as per tariff. And this 15 and 80 is there na? This will be at 70%. At 70%. At 70%. So therefore, this will be at the rate of 70%. So 15,000 plus 80,000 will be 95,000 at the rate of 70%, 66,500. 66,500 that will be taken. Okay. So therefore, this is the rate as per tariff. These two will be 70%. Next, question number 16. Kiara of Indian origin came to India on tour with her baby 1 year. She brought following goods: personal effects 50,000 exempted. Use the personal effect of infant exempted because her baby is coming to India. That's why exempted. New camera dutiable, eligible for GFA. Mobile phone also dutiable, eligible for GFA. Cigarette 70 sticks eligible for GFA. Wine 2 liters eligible. Travel souvenir exempted. Laptop exempted. So what and all are dutiable? 45,000 plus 12,500 plus 1,000 plus 18,000, 76,500, and this is eligible for GFA 50,000. So the remaining will be 26,500 on that 35%. So into 35%, 9,275 will be taken. Okay, that's the answer. Next, and she is not a tourist of foreign origin, tourist of Indian origin only. Question number 17. Mr. Noddy, aged 40 years and citizen of Australia, is on a solo trip to India for 1 month to meet his Indian friend residing in Mumbai. He carries with him the following articles as a part of baggage: used personal effect exempted, other articles carried on in person dutiable, 65 cartridges. Remember, what is eligible? 50 is eligible. So 50 into 1000, 50,000 will only be taken. Not eligible for GFA. Not eligible for GFA. How much is not eligible for GFA in the cartridges? 15 cartridges is not eligible in 2000. That is 15,000. 15,000 not eligible for GFA. Then tobacco 150 grams. 125 into 10 is only eligible. 1,250. Remaining 25 into 10. 215 not eligible. Then mobile phone dutiable. Cigars, 25 cigars is only eligible, so 25 into 100, so 2,500, remaining 2,500 is not eligible. Then used personal effect of his infant for donation dutiable. Why? Because the child is not traveling. The child is not traveling, due to that reason that will be dutiable. Okay. And total, if you see what are dutiable, 1 lakh plus 50,000 plus 1,250 plus 50,000 plus 2,500 plus 10,000, 2 lakh, 1 lakh plus 50,000 plus 1,250 plus 50,000 plus 2,500 plus 10,000. That will be 2,13,750 minus. So he is a citizen of Australia. So tourist of foreign origin minus 15,000, 1,98,750. 1,98,750. So duty will be payable at 35%. So 1,98,750 into 35%, 69,563 rounded off. Rounded off. And here this cartridges of firearms. So cigarettes and tobacco. Correct? Cigars and tobacco. cigars and tobacco, cigars and tobacco dutiable as per tariff, and cartridges dutiable at 70%. That is 15,000 into 70%. 15,000 into 70% will be 10,500. Okay. Next, Varun Goyal, an IT professional and a person of Indian origin, is residing in USA for the last 14 months. He wishes to bring a microwave oven costing approximately 1,85,500. It's a repeated question. So he can bring, because up to 2 lakhs, 14 months. It's a question which is already there above. It's a repeated question. So 2 lakhs he can bring because he stayed there in abroad for at least 14 months. So then the article up to 2 lakhs can be brought. So these are the questions that we have on baggage, and apologies from my side. It's not my mistake, because study material whatever was there, that's what I have given, and they gave the correndum at a later point of time. By the time the books and all were printed and the batches and all was completed, so due to that reason I could not cover this, and I have rectified all these things and I have made it available. I will rectify this and make it available, but suppose by the time, if you want, you can carry out the changes in this. So this is about the baggage, so don't get confused. All the questions we did related to this based on the updated provisions. Thank you.